last week with Tim, and what do you love when he brings his up?
Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Hopefully, you guys can hear me good. Let me know if it's too loud or if I need to turn it down. I'm actually watching this live stream here. I'm at my daughter's place, and I need to, let me adjust the camera just a little bit. We're tilted some. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Guys, let's see. Can you actually see me? We've got Stephen Jones here. Background noise done loud. Okay, well, unfortunately my daughter is watching the Kardashians, and there's no way around that. And let me turn that down, and let me turn Stephen Jones down as well. We'll go ahead and mute them and see if that does a little bit better for you. Well, we have actually Stephen Jones being interviewed right now before the scrimmage and stuff. Everything's working great. Well, I'm glad. Okay, let's move Jobu over here a little bit. I'd like to know from you guys how you guys are feeling about our Dallas Cowboys thus far in training camp. The thing that I'm happiest about for the most part is that our Cowboys have been staying healthy. Now, there's nicks and bruises and all that stuff because it's Jobu's refill. There's nicks and bruises, of course, because that's what happens in training camp. From this point forward, this is about as healthy as guys will be for the season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. From here on, it's basically, it's basically, you go downhill from here. Guys will be playing nicked up. Now, what the Cowboys are doing more so now than they've done in the past is, I think they're playing a little more cautious with guys. Tyron Smith, they're holding him out a little bit more to make sure that he stays healthy. Sean Lee, he hasn't been really going that much, and they're trying to keep guys in shape, ready to go on the field, and I think that's actually a good thing. Thomas Hearns, well, thank you very much, Smith fan. Well, I appreciate that, man. Smith fan, you don't know how much that means to me, your kind words and things, because I get a lot of flack from a lot of people that say I'm a clickbaiter, I'm not really a Dallas Cowboy fan, and so on. It really is nice when you hear, as long as one or two people say that I'm doing a good job, that's all I need. Philly 500. It's amazing how many Eagle fans are on here. What's funny, here's how crazy it is. I set up this feed about an hour ago, and I immediately had a comment from Stephen Willie Beeman. Okay, just setting the event up. He was the very first comment. It's like, dude, are you stalking the channel? So right now we're actually watching Brian Broaddus with the pregame show here while we wait to go ahead and have a scrimmage. Now, more than likely, you're going to be seeing basically third-string guys. You're not going to see the offense, the regular guys playing too much. They'll probably do a couple of plays, but we got Dak and we got Zeke out there right now. And here we go. We'll see what they come up with. Doing red zone drill. Thank you, Chris Singer. Did like a reverse. They started off with a reverse right off the bat with Trayvon Austin. If there's anything that I'm looking forward to for this season is that we're going to be changing stuff up. The fact that they came out with the reverse first play is great, because basically Zeke to the left tosses it back to Michael Gallup and comes to the right. If we can just do a few plays to keep people guessing, keep them honest, it's going to really help this team out. You're right, Sam, man. He is definitely swinging from our left side. Eagles fans watch this because they're so scared. That's funny. Uh-oh, Taco looks like his shoulders ache. Oh. Taco's on the sideline here. Maybe we spoke too soon about injuries. Thanks, Warpath. Taco's shoulder, definitely. Hopefully it's nothing serious. 52 years, Dr. Cowboy. You and me here are both. Taco, I tell you what, I'm hoping that that's nothing serious on that. But Taco's been looking really, really good. All right, let's see what we got here with that. That was nice. Oh, here we go. The nice pass by Dak, time en route to Jeff Sween. Man, and that wasn't a dink and dunk either. That's about 17 yards. You love seeing that. They're practicing red zone drills. Love that. All right, let's see what Jalen Smith does in there. Okay, we're actually kicking. Well, I tell you, I'm happy about the attitude of the guys that are in here. I love the intensity, and it looks like those guys are hungry to me. Now, I may be wrong, but seeing that fight, I love a good fight in camp. Getting temperatures flaring, one guy gets over on the other one, it brings out the passion, it gets everybody into it. That's one of the things that Sammy Good, if you're watching, Sammy Good, known as Bubba, when we were in high school, it was always cool because the coaches would get us in those one-on-one drills, basically get an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, and you get them in there, and they're out there screaming and everything, snotting out, coming out their nose and everything else. Okay, Taco looks to be okay. He's working out on the sidelines, so that's good to see. Taco is moving around, so he's checking it out. So he's not carried off in a cart, so that's a good start. Okay, so we got somebody pushing against him, seeing how well he can move on it and things. Yeah, sometimes when you get one of these little tweaks and stuff, it scares you more than anything else. That you're not sure if you really did something bad or didn't, and then a little time goes by and you realize it's just a little nick. All right, so we got Cooper rush in. Boom. Damn. That was a blown assignment there. Damn. There was nobody else even in the shot. Well, Philly, we appreciate the fact that you don't want any injuries. Oh, see, man, I can tell you right now, I go back tomorrow night. And this morning was the first morning that I didn't wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I know tomorrow I'm going to be hurting when I get back home. Okay, so far our offense has been looking pretty good. Looking better than it's been looking during camp. Mike C., are you there at the stadium? Well, hey, JR, 214, man, don't put stuff out there like that, man. You don't want Wentz to tear his ACL again or Foles to break his collarbone. I just want to kick their ass, but I don't want them to be broken up like that. Well, Woods definitely made a name for himself yesterday in that fight. Because nobody was talking about him before that. But, there's something about that, getting that little anger and stuff like that, and putting guys on notice that, hey, I'm not just here to be your punching bag. Smith fan, the Eagles, they know. They know. The Dallas Cowboys. Here's what's amazing, because Steam and Willie Beeman are, I could literally make him the dumbass comment of the day every day. was talking about the Hall of Fame, saying the Dallas Cowboys don't have any Hall of Famers going in yesterday. Well, technically, we kind of did. That was a nice run by Zeke. Here's what's interesting. The Philadelphia Eagles, one of the original teams in the NFL, been around forever. You know how many Hall of Famers they have on that team? 22. 22. With all of their world championships, those 3 before I was even born, and all those years before the Dallas Cowboys were even in existence, they have only 22. And that's if you count guys like Chris Carter, who basically stayed drunk when he was there for 2 years. When you had Art Monk, who was, after his career was over with the Redskins. When you had James Lofton for a year. You had Mike Dickett for 2 years. Richard Dent and T.O. That's part of those 22. Those 6 guys right there. Our Dallas Cowboys, who didn't become in existence till 1960. We got 24 Hall of Famers on that team. 24. So Steamin' Willie Beeman, shut up, man. Steamin' Willie Beeman's doing God's work. Philly 500, come on, man. Oh boy, it's amazing that how many Eagle fans are literally on here right now. You guys kill me. It's all good, man. But Eagles fans, let me know when you get up to 5 Super Bowls. Nice pass. Lance Lenore's another one of those guys. You know, it's funny because the more times guys tell you how bad the Cowboys are going to be, the talking heads, the better I actually feel. When you look back on years that we were expected to do a lot of stuff, were years that we ended up failing. And it was the years when they basically said that we were going to be doo-doo, that we ended up doing really well. We came off of 3 years of 8-8, Jason Garrett being on the hot seat, and people questioning whether or not Tony Romo should be kicked to the curb. And then we come out with a 12-4 season and unfortunately losing the playoffs. Same thing when we lost Romo in 2016. You know, you got a 4th-round quarterback that's going to be your starter, a rookie. Nobody gave us a chance in hell. So when you start hearing everybody talk about how bad our wide receiving core is going to be, I got to be honest with you. They're making some noise. You look at Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, as I will give credit to Vosh Lombardi, who at the draft said that Michael Gallup will make us forget all about Dez Bryant. He's got that big body, and he's able to use it, and I think he's going to be a really good player. You look at Cole Beasley, seemed to be like he got an extra habanero hot sauce right now. He's getting really good right now. Lance Lenore, guys like that. Alan Hearns. Hearns is a little bit nicked up and not practicing. He's got a sore groin and things. But I think our offensive wide receivers are going to be a lot better than advertised. And the key on that is that, bottom line, it all goes back to the offensive line. And you're probably saying, what do you mean it goes back to the offensive line? If the offensive line is able to play well, if they're opening up holes for the running game, if Zeke Elliott is able to run, it's going to be more single coverage on guys. It's going to be more 8 men in the box. It's going to be more of the safety worrying about, is Zeke Elliott going to run and bust one through first before he's concerned about the wide receivers. And if we get, thank you very much. What do I think about our backup quarterback situation? Bateman, appreciate the super chat. I think what we're going to end up seeing is it's going to be hard for us to keep 3 quarterbacks. As much as everybody's high on Mike White, the question is are you going to go ahead and take one of these guys and stash them, because literally you're not going to play them. They're not going to be on the active roster. And then not keep somebody else that could be a person who could be playing on the team or a prominent backup. And if you are sold on Dak Prescott being your guy, which he's shown to be durable, if you believe that he's not going to be somebody you need to replace, then you end up kind of only going with two quarterbacks. Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown got the jump on it. There's a flag down. Let's see what's the flag. Dak is late on the pass. Anthony Brown made a great move on that. And they've been playing Anthony Brown a lot with the first team. And I tell you, if there's anything we need more, it's turnovers. And I'm hoping that with Chris Richard making this defense a lot more active, putting a lot more press on it, that we start getting turnovers in bunches. That would be the biggest thing we can get. Stephen Willie Beeman, it's amazing how much you keep up with the Dallas Cowboys. Bateman, what's up with Earl Thomas? Right now, he's basically facing about $750,000 in fines for not showing up, and there's been no movement. There was an interesting blog, somebody thinking that the Chicago Bears should go after Earl, but I think it's going to still be a little bit of time. I think what Seattle's going to do is they're going to try and milk this for as long as they can and try and see what kind of deal that they can get. You know, there's no rush for them to hurry up and make a move because it's going to be a draft pick for next year. So if you are going to make a trade to the Cowboys that you play in week 3, why would you want to hurry up and appease the Cowboys? You want to wait till the last minute and try and get the most that you can. And you may also want to wait because you may have a team that's out there who thinks that they have playoff or Super Bowl aspirations. If they get an injury, all of a sudden they come a lot more desperate, especially now that basically Eric Reed is the only veteran safety out there that's free. With Trey Boston already signed, with Kenny Vaccaro already signed, you have a piece that could become a very, very valuable commodity. So to hurry up and say, okay, we'll take a 3rd-round draft pick right now, you can probably still get the same 3rd-round draft pick in a couple of weeks, but you might be able to get a 2nd or a number 1 for somebody who gets desperate. Gary Johnson, well, I'm hoping there's no worries with Dan Bailey because Dan Bailey, we need him to be lights out like he had been. But since that groin injury, he's not been quite as automatic. Where did Dez go? You would think he fell off the face of the earth right now because I can't believe that he, no, Dr. Cowboy, we're going to go back through and we're going to find out who gets, when somebody gets it right, I'll go ahead and tell you how many it is, or I'll let them know that they're the winner. So I can't tell you on that one. You have to figure it out. Actually, I haven't looked back and seen the comments on there to see where you guys are, but it's, I like your emojis, the scooters. I love that emoji. Where'd you find the scooter emoji? Well, Joe Gomez, I'm hoping that Thomas is going to be a Dallas Cowboy, and if he is, you know I'm going to get indignant because everybody who told me I was an idiot, it's not going to happen. Oh, man, I cannot wait to go ahead and say, I told you. Stephen Willie Beeman, really, what is your deal with the hate of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott? Come on, tell me the real deal, man. Tell me the real deal. Did he steal your woman? Sharky's girl. Okay. All right, all you Eagle fans, congratulations. You guys are wonderful. Yay. Go team, go. Oh. Tavon Austin making some noise out there today. Tavon made a great move because that pass was short, way short. Great adjustment on the ball because he had to stop and basically come back and go to the side. You know, that was a great adjustment by Austin. For everybody, listen. And whenever I say anything about Dak, of course, everybody says, you just go ahead and defend Dak. But hold on. I understand Dak has never been that practice guy. His 2016 training camp, he looked like dog did. And nobody thought he was going to have the season that he had. You have some guys that are practice guys, and you have some guys that are gamers. Brett Favre was not a great practice guy, but when he got into games, he was damn good. In fact, a Hall of Famer. So relax. It's only a week and a half into training camp, guys. We haven't even had a real practice game yet. Take it down a notch. And the team itself is still doing a whole lot of vanilla work. They're not showing a whole lot of things that we're going to be doing during the regular season because everybody and their sister's watching. Justin Quarles, great question. Here it is, they're Super Bowl champions, and they're here talking about us, worried about us. The funny thing is because we are the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to micromanage every single play, every incompletion, every single interception. And I got my man John G is saying Dak looks like shit today. 2 picks so far. Yeah. Damn, that was bad too. Okay, all right. So now you got me worried, guys. Sharky's girl. Dak has no idea what's coming for him. First game, 6 sacks. I don't think about that one. All right, let's see what we got now. Come on, Dak. Don't make me into a liar. Yeah, that's a sack by Taco. Well, at least we know Taco's in good shape. So the good news is Taco is okay. Damn, he beat the hell out of Collins. I tell you what, that was a hell of a move by Taco. He faked Collins out his jockstrap. Third and 18. Let's see what we got for Dak. Dalton Schultz. They go 4 on 4th. Ooh, jump ball and catch Jeff Heath. I see we got Ari on. Ari, we're watching the live stream here of the game. Nice move by Taco against Lyle Collins. Dak, not so much. Ari, give me your thoughts on where we are with Dak. Not a good game for a preseason game. It's actually on DallasCowboys.com. Okay, so now we're down to basically a lot of the third round guys. What's up, Romeo? See what Mike White's got. Uh-oh, that's a Rico catch. That'll make Michael happy that Rico just got a catch. Michael's over there editing right now. Okay, Cooper moving the ball. Oh, I'm sorry. Mike White moving the ball right now. Well, yeah, okay, it is on the local station in Dallas, but if you're not in Dallas, where a lot of our Cowboy fans are, if you go to DallasCowboys.com, they're actually live streaming it too. Steeman Willie Beeman. Here's the great thing about preseason. We was talking about practice. Think about the Detroit Lions going 4-0 in preseason, man. And then proceeding to follow it up with an 0-16 season. It's practice, man. It don't mean a lot. So, you know, I'm hoping you're sleeping better now tonight because you're saying, oh, the Cowboys aren't looking good in practice. Yeah, okay. If that's what you have to bank on, you're in trouble, bro. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Ely in. Let's see what he does. Ely got a nice push in there, but he needs to do a move on it. Well, then Stephen Willie Beeman, he's due for some good games then, buddy. All right, let's see where we go. How do I think Zeke will do? I think Zeke's going to be a beast this year. I think Zeke is going to be on a mission. Nice pass by White. That was a nice pass there by White. I think Zeke Elliott is on a mission. Zeke looks a little bit slimmed down. He seems to have matured a lot, and I think he's ready to rock and roll. And that's where everything. And there's Mike White with an interception, but bad down. Okay. Well, Joe Gomez, I hope he has a good year, but I hope he doesn't have a 2,000-yard year, because I'm going to tell you what happens. That was an ugly duck that was just thrown by Mike White. Well, Bobby Means, I appreciate that, man. That's about the highest compliment I have, that a fan from another team would like to actually meet up and stuff. That's a lot of respect. Shout out to you. You're one of those few good Eagle fans out there. I appreciate that. That realizes that football is more than just hate the other guys and the other team and stuff. That football really is family. Les, I agree. The defense to me seems to be way ahead of where the offense is, and I think for once our team may actually be led by our defense, and I would be ecstatic about that, because when you look at it, it's lost by most fans. You always see all the highlights of, Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett. You see the highlights of Michael Irvin, the playmaker, or Emmitt Smith coming off with the separated shoulder, and Troy Aikman, but you don't really think about that defense that we had during the 90s. That was the number one ranked defense. If we had had a better defense in 2014, than 19th ranked, there's no doubt in the world that we could have been a Super Bowl championship team. But our team has not been able to, down the stretch against Aaron Rodgers, get enough pressure or cover guys well enough to get us over that hump. We get close, but we just didn't have enough defense. And then since 2014, the saving grace for our defense was the fact that we ended up getting a lot of turnovers. Since then, we have been lacking. We've been one of the bottom feeders when it comes to turning the ball over. And turning the ball over is truly key. And it looks like that is the end of the blue and white scrimmage here. We've got our guys meeting at center field. And not a whole lot of plays, about maybe 15 plays, I would say. The offense definitely needs a whole lot of work. Trayvon Austin, I got to tell you, his career may be rejuvenated. Mark, go to Cowboys making the Boston bet. Tell Rude Dog what's up. You told an Eagle fan what's up. What about me? Okay, okay, Rudy Hernandez, what's up, man? How you doing, man? California, what's happening, Cowboys fan 1988? Well, I've been enjoying my time out here with my daughter and my son out in California, seeing some of the sights, going off-road for the first time, going to the beach. This was a good break, I'll be honest though. I'm tired. I think I need a little vacation for my vacation. There's some, okay, we won't call it that, from the NFL Network claiming that Dak hasn't thrown one TD when one of your posts clearly shows him throwing at least 5. It's actually drug testing NFL. I like that, Keith. Actually, I think Law Nation got into a little Twitter battle with, I think, James Slater about that, because he kind of corrected her on it, and she basically snapped back at him, because he ended up basically saying, you know, are you just trying to start crap? And she snapped back at him and said, yeah, are you trying to snap crap? But that's how it is. You know, when we're Dallas Cowboy fans, we get no respect from anybody. But I got to give a shout out to Barry Gibson from, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart here. Barry Gibson. Barry Gibson did actually, he's one of those diehard Dallas Cowboy fans, and he has a Official America's Team, OAT, on Facebook. Great page. I met him at the Eagles game last year, and it's a group that shares all kinds of content and everything else. They did a little piece that kind of gives you some of the background of Joe Boo, as well as my brain fart, I guess you want to say, with Earl Thomas and stuff. But definitely check out America's Official America's Team fan page on YouTube. It's not YouTube, on Facebook. Great work and stuff by him. He's, you know, another one of us diehard Dallas Cowboy fans that's out there trying to set the record straight on what's actually going on with their Cowboys. When you think about the stuff that you get from NFL Network and the narrative that is literally so biased against the Dallas Cowboys, it's good to actually get guys like Law Nation and Vash Lombardi that are actually out there putting in the work and actually bringing you better perspective of what's going on with the Cowboys than what you see with those guys. Oh, okay. We're still going live. Holding call on the Cowboys. Axis, I tell you, Vander Esch is really quick. I think with Jalen Smith right now, looking like he is really, really quick, you got Vander Esch in there that when Sean Lee is time to go, that we're actually going to be in pretty good shape with 2 really good linebackers. Just enjoying the fact that we have football back on. Dallas Cowboys for Life, Star Nation. Just hoping that we get through this little scrimmage here without anybody getting hurt, get some work in, get some decent plays, but hoping that nobody gets hurt. Could X be our Darren Woodson? That's possible. I'm still concerned about depth though, because guys, we only got 3 safeties. Fumble.
Going the other way. Fumbled snap right there. Mike did not get the snap. And we're going to see exactly what happens.
Daniel, I'm definitely excited to go ahead and take on Eli Stinking Manning in this New York Stinking Giants, man. I'm excited for every game, starting out with Carolina.
Exchange right there. And Kyle Cairo, out of Northwestern, opportunistic. He's a converted. He was a safety.
The fight. Shout out to you. I don't think I've seen you here before. I've said that before, and of course, all the Eagle fans told me I'm an idiot. That there were going to be some dark days for the Eagles. One, I believe Carson Wentz wants to get back out there because he got the team in position to make that run, and just have somebody else win the Super Bowl. He's happy to get the ring. Don't get me wrong. He's got a ring that all of the other Eagle players don't have in the past, but it's something different to be the guy who ended up winning that. So for Nick Foles to have won that, to do what Rod Jaworski, Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb couldn't do, Philly fans going to have him in the heart and look at him as the underdog. If Carson Wentz comes out there and that knee is not quite 100% and he doesn't have his game, because a lot of his game was predicated on him being able to move around in the pocket and things, buy time as well as run. If he struggles, you know how you Eagle fans are going to be. You guys are going to get the bum out of here. We know that from play to play, we can have our team, cheering for a guy and ready to kill him the next. You're going to see that thing kind of get ugly. And, as much as Nick Foles has said the right stuff, Nick Foles probably could have forced his hand to go elsewhere, but I think he feels like this is my team, and he wants that team. He's not going to come out and say it. He's going to be the right guy, but you can't bypass that. And I agree. I think there's going to be a lot more problems in Philadelphia than what people are saying. So I lost my feed here. Hopefully I'm still on. Hopefully my camera's still running here, because I ended up answering a question from John G. Good year, Eli's done. The worst enemy. He's garbage. I have to tell you, I think the Giants made a hell of a mistake being as high as they were, not going for a quarterback. To get into that position, you saw what it took for the Jets to move up. You saw what the Eagles had to give up. The chances are they're not going to be that close. It's going to cost them a whole lot more later on to get there. Stephen Willie Beeman, that's Cowboy fans in general, okay? That's one guy. In fact, Barry is actually working on, is actually communicating with the guy who did the mural. The Cowboys are polarizing. Half of the fans want to get rid of Tony Romo, half of them still want Tony Romo back. That's just the way it is in Dallas. And you can't tell me that everybody in Philadelphia is always on the same page with every player out there. After the end of the first year, you had some Eagle fans that were ready to give up on Carson Wentz. So don't give me that stuff about half of the Cowboys want to get rid of him. It's just the way it is in football. The most popular player on any team is always the backup quarterback. Michael, I wouldn't worry about the secondary, with the exception of maybe safety. I think our secondary is going to be a lot better than they were last year. Stephen Willie Beeman, yeah, there's some people out there that want Dak. They've always wanted, even in 2016, they wanted Dak on. Even though we were winning game after game after game, there's still people that he's a bum, he can get him out of here. So when has there been anybody? I remember with Roger Staubach, where people wanted Danny White, Gary Hogaboo. People wanted other quarterbacks, Craig Morton, other than Roger Staubach. And it got to be a week-to-week thing that, half the people would love him, half the people would hate him. Uh-oh. Did we lose our signal here? That's just the way it is when you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Yvonne? Nope. Not quite. But keep on, keep trying on the scooter thing. It's hard. Believe me, it's hard. I actually went through that thing about 6 times to make sure that I got the right count, and it's funny. But it was crazy driving around downtown because you just see all these damn scooters. All of a sudden, you see 3 or 4 just laying on the ground in random places, and literally, you just rent these scooters using an app, and you just leave it wherever, and you're done. Amen, Keith. The Cowboys definitely have, over the last 4 years, have definitely owned the NFC East. Skip Bayless is more delusional. That's a good question. Williams or Gallup? Ooh. I kind of like, it's still kind of early with Michael Gallup, and you haven't really had even a game yet. But Michael Gallup, I love his size, and he's looking really, really well. Good so far. Who'll be our best D-back of the season? Right now, Byron Jones and Awuzie have definitely been making noise. Anthony Woods has been playing better than he did last year. Lewis, they're not playing Lewis as much right now. It'll be interesting to see, if they're playing him more down the road. If they're trying to give Anthony Brown a chance to get back where he was, and then go back to Jordan Lewis. But we've got a good mix. There's going to be all kinds of different combinations that you're going to play because some guys will play other guys better than others, and you're going to have some injuries in there. So you can never have too many good corners. Well, her Chief is fantastic, man. We had a great time with that. All these fake Cowboy fans will be sad when Dak starts killing this year. I hope. Well, you know what? Some of them will still change their tune because if the Cowboys' offense does well, it won't be because of Dak. They'll say it's because of Zeke Elliott. It's because he's got a great offense on. They'll never give him credit, regardless. It's just the way it is. And Case, yeah, Dak is definitely. Dak is definitely getting a lot of hate because of the national anthem thing. But in the end, I'm sorry, but there's not a whole lot. If somebody has a better answer, I would like to hear it. Because there is not. Pat 1984. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ignore you. I must have missed the calls. I've got 2 screens on here, so the comments are real small. So it's not really easy to see. What did I miss? I know we were talking about the Carolina game before, and we're still working on getting there for that. Although I'm supposed to be on vacation with the wife during that week. I may get cussed out, but I think it's still going to be at that game.
That's on the quarterback. Yeah, an old center talking here. If the ball goes up and they come straight down, just like you saw in the replay, that's on the quarterback for pulling out a little sooner.
All right, let's see what we got here. They still got 3rd stringers in right now on offense. Pat, I think Dak will be okay as well. Rudy, I tell you, well, it's still early. You don't know how well the season's going to go, but right now, Jalen Smith is looking head and shoulders above where he was a year ago. That pass was tipped. Let's see what we got here. Well, Stephanie, I tell you, as far as Rico goes, the Cowboys have a tendency to be completely rigid with exactly their system. And instead of looking at a guy and say, okay, this is what this guy can do really, really well, and this is where we're going to try and use him specifically there, they basically say, you've got to do this. Rico, with the extra weight, he put on about 30 pounds because he was told, I got to be a blocker better than a wide receiver. Watching him run, he didn't look as fluid as he did last year. And I don't know that he's ever going to be a great, great blocker. But now, you negated what he did really, really well, which was being a receiving threat. I don't know. See, D-Will, I'm not sure he was, with all the wide receivers we have right now, he's got a big body, and I'm not sure that he was a wide receiver. He's a tight end, a pass-catching tight end. And they're trying to make him into a blocking / pass-catching tight end, and they may have screwed him up doing that. They're like, I like to try and say they're like mad scientists, and they've kind of screwed up some players over the years doing that. Well, I'm only on the West Coast till tomorrow evening. We got a 7 o'clock flight out tomorrow evening, so it'll actually be nice to get back to my man cave. I missed my studio setup. Didn't realize how much I do, how easy it is to work from there versus on the road. But it's been a great trip. I wish I could have spent more time at training camp with the guys and stuff, but, it's been really good. Zach Martin catching a punt. Okay, so Zach Martin, here's the thing. You always play these end-of-practice games that if somebody can do X, Y, Z, then you don't have to run sprints. So with Zach Martin having to catch a punt. And I got to tell you, Zach Martin, man, dude can jump. He just caught the punt, and he jumped up, spiked the football. So no sprints today. Well, it's not up to me, Virginia Finest, on how safe to get home. Hopefully, we won't have another one of those planes where they put tape on it before we can take off. That was kind of scary. Our Cowboys are in training camp. They got a lot of work to do, and I like my thoughts. Here's my thoughts from the whole training camp. Okay, all right, so that's their stuff. I feel great about where the team is. I've said this more than once, that I feel that the team itself has a whole different vibe to them than they did last year. Last year, we were dealing this time of year with Zeke being suspended. When Zeke would walk out on the field, it was just kind of like we were at a funeral. You didn't see a lot of excitement and stuff on the field. And you can see everybody kind of stayed away from him as well. I think the team looked at the success that they had and figured, all we got to do is show up. But in the NFL, when you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Teams are going to figure out what you did well, and they're going to come after you. You have a longer season because you're in the playoffs and things like that. You got less time to recuperate, and you start losing pieces that were valuable to you. You can't keep all the free agents. People will take some of your coaches. So that's why it's hard to stay on top. And with the Cowboys basically staying pat, in fact, maybe even getting more simplistic, it bit them in the ass. You could see that the lack of creativity, that we were basically running the same passing routes, And the fact that Zeke Elliott, when he was there, wasn't there, hurt the team all the way around. With that being said, right now, I feel like Zeke is ready to rock and roll. Zeke has got a swagger to him. Zeke looks slim and trim, and he looks like he's ready to roll. And you can see that he's matured a lot. He was forced to kind of grow up through that whole suspension and things. Places where we failed last year, I think the Cowboys did their best that they could to plug holes. You got Cameron Fleming that's in there, who so far has kind of struggled a little bit in camp. I'm praying that we don't need him as a swing tackle. And hope that Tyron Smith is staying healthy, because we don't want a repeat of last year where we couldn't block anybody, we couldn't get the running game going, and we put Dak out there to try and carry the load on his own. He's not ready to do that. I feel like getting Vander Esch definitely will help. Jalen Smith getting better. I still think there's still some players that the team usually towards the end of camp looks at signing some other people. I think they like to go through, evaluate. I think they like to evaluate what they have and try and fill in. Usually there are major signings, but you usually see them sign a few guys to try and plug some holes. And I think they're doing a lot of evaluation right now with safety to see how good the guys are. Are we okay with the three that we have as starters and then just some other bodies as backups? Or do we need to make a wholesale change and really step up the deal for Earl Thomas? So we'll see where that goes. And I think also, too, you know, when people are talking about Dak right now and how he's regressed, they're going to work on things in camp right now that are problems. If you know Dak can run the football, you don't need to necessarily run Dak in training camp and risk him. But the team is going to probably be doing a lot more run-pass options, which Dak Prescott, when he gets outside the pocket, is a much better quarterback. He can make great moves on the move. You know, he can find players that are open as he's rolling out. And if you start doing some of those run pass options where basically you're putting the defender on an island, it's, do I take the guy who's behind me and cover him, or do I go for the quarterback? Those are things that are going to help make the offense kind of go and really step it up and make it more flow. In practice, preseason games, you're not going to do a lot of those things that you're going to put risk on your quarterback and things. And you're not going to try and show a lot of the stuff that you're going to do to have people have a book out on your game plan. So, you know, understand this is still preseason. You really don't know what teams you've got till really about October. So that's where we stand right now. I feel great about our defense. I think our defense is going to be a hell of a lot better than it's been in quite a while. Yeah, True Gonzalez, we still have the clapper, and there's no point in beating that dead horse right now because it's too late to change him for this season. What we got to do is hope that he gets it this year, that the guys that he has underneath him, Chris Richard, and I got to tell you, Chris Richard, to me, brings so much energy and passion on the field that I think that that's going to help negate some of the Jason Garrett. Because, let's face it, it's not Jason Garrett calling the plays. It's Scott Linehan. It's Scott Linehan is the one that we really need to be on their ass more so than Jason Garrett to make sure that he's getting a little more creative, that his play calling is better than what he did before, and starts using the strengths that Dak Prescott has. More so than Jason Garrett. Everybody's trying to say Jason Garrett, and don't get me wrong. I have never, ever been a Jason Garrett fan. I wanted him gone a long time ago. But at this point, he's not the offensive coordinator. He's not the defensive coordinator. He is basically the clapper-in-chief and the middleman between Jerry Jones and the team, or the whatever you want to call him. But it's Scott Linehan who has to take it up another level. Well, Amazing TV, I'm hoping that they're grooming Chris Richard to become that head coach if and when they get rid of Jason Garrett. Because if the Cowboys don't make him head coach, I can guarantee you, if this defense ends up being a top 5 defense like I think it'll be, I can guarantee you, you're going to have a lot of people like, oh, that was me, I'm sorry. Leroy, it was me knocking on the table. There's going to be a lot of coaches, a lot of teams knocking on the door for Chris Richard. Sorry, I set the dog off. Hey, ain't nobody letting the dogs out. So, guys, your thoughts on the team thus far? We're going to stay on here for 2 more minutes and then end the stream. Your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys for this season? What are you looking at? I'm thinking 11-5 for the Cowboys is realistic. We got Sharky's Girl. I mean, it's amazing how many Eagle fans we have here. New Eagle fans at that. But, you know, I guess you guys need some love too. I'm thinking 11-5 is realistic for our team. No excuses, we'll be making it in 2018. I'm hoping you're right, Joe.
Are you almost done?
Yes, I am. 1 more minute, honey.
My show's started.
Oh, okay. The Kardashians is coming on, so we're going to need to go ahead and end the stream because my daughter can't miss the Kardashians. But, guys, thank you all for all the support, watching the show, all the comments, all of the likes, all the subscribers and everything else. We're just beginning. We're going to be getting everything together for the season, and we're going to have a great season. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I will see you guys soon.